Hey everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Dan Rosenrash. I am CTO here at Viirtue, and I'm also joined by Wojtek Woronsky, who's our VP of Engineering. Today we're going to be talking about our new feature for ViiBE, which is our collaborative quoting, which we're super excited to get out to you guys, help you win more business for partners. It really is an awesome tool. Wojtek's going to take you through it in just a few minutes here. And then we are also going to talk about our V41 rollout plan for both clusters. We're basically there for one and just about 2 weeks out for the other. So we'll go over that in detail so you guys know what to expect as far as roadmaps and timelines go, and you can obviously educate your client bases accordingly. So what I want to do first is if somebody can just pop in the chat, I just want to make sure if you folks can just see my screen and see this slide here, and then we can move along. If just somebody can pop in there. Awesome, thank you guys. All right. So Wojtek, I'll give you your slide before we move along.
All right. Thank you, Dan. As Dan alluded to, we're very excited to share with you guys the collaborative quoting product that we're introducing. It is improving our best-in-class sales process to help you guys win more business. We're incorporating the concept of electronic signatures to essentially help you streamline the quote approval process. So now you have the option of either getting a wet signature or actually getting an electronic signature by making it as frictionless as possible to send a customer what we call a magic link, where they actually go ahead and can log in to see their quote and change various elements of the quote. For instance, they can correct their address, update quantities, they can comment on other products or the entire quote. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the demo in just a second to kind of show you those features. But in addition, when we talk about collaborative quoting, we also think that notifications are central to that concept. So you'll be getting notifications within your dashboard as well as email as various events in the sales process occur to make sure that you're connecting on that one-to-one level with your customer to close the business as efficiently as possible. Okay. And as the last point kind of alludes to, we're basically iterating every month to essentially add incremental value to the platform to make sure we're providing the most robust capabilities to you as possible, and we will continue to do so. And Dan, if you go ahead and make me the presenter, and I'll go ahead and share my screen.
You got it, coming right your way.
Okay. All right, and as Dan has done before, let's just verify that you guys can see my screen. So if somebody could just pop into the chat and make sure you guys can see Viirtue's instance of ViiBE Lite.
Okay, you're good, Wojtek. We can see it.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start by creating a quote, just as we normally would, and I'm gonna do it for us, Viirtue. So I can go ahead and click that, and I'm gonna say this is a mission to Mars. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and add some products. So we'll say here, here, here. Just add a bunch of products to this thing and a couple Polycom units. Let's say we'll go with 10 of those and add those products. Okay, now this is where the product process differs a little bit. Okay, it's nothing has changed in terms of the interface too much from the reseller side, but what you're going to see right now is when we've created the quote, it's in a draft state up here in the upper right hand corner. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead and email this to, this is our test account here, virtue.test@gmail.com. So I'm going to go ahead and actually send this quote to that email. And what's going to happen in a minute or so, I'm going to get an email within Gmail that's going to basically provide a magic link, and I just got it. So right here, you can see your recently requested quote. It says Wojtek Woronsky has prepared your quote. And what it did is it attached the actual quote in PDF format. And it also provides the link in order for the customer to access it without providing any type of credentials. A lot of systems implement this feature, and now we're offering it to you as well to make it as frictionless as possible for them to access the information. So I'm going to go ahead and click the quote. And you can see that right then and there, it pulls up the entire quote. All the information that I just put in, taxes, all of this stuff is readily accessible to the customer. So they can go ahead and do things, for instance, and let's say that there's a typo somewhere. They're like, oh, the wrong address is in here. Let's say that I'm actually in New York City for some reason. I'm gonna go ahead and make that change. and I'm gonna hit Save Changes. And that is automatically updated. All the taxes and the information is recomputed automatically, okay? The customer also has the ability to change quantity. So let's say for this hosted voice extension, they only need 3. They can go ahead and change that. And let's say that they want to, ask a question about this, what happens if I need more seats? Okay, they can go ahead and submit that. And let's just say they also want to have a specific question about the Polycom. What colors does this come in? Just an example of the types of things that they can ask. And then, they can go ahead and click next here. And, they can either directly approve the quote if everything was good, which 90% of the time this will probably be the case. But they can also go ahead and say submit for review. And what this does is it's going to send us, the reseller, a notification that it was submitted for review. And as you heard that little chime go off, you can see that I got an email that said the following action has occurred on your quote, and it's saying that its revisions were requested essentially for the mission tomorrow. So I can go ahead and click on that link, but since I already have it open, I'm going to go ahead and just click right here, and I'm going to just see that I got a little notification there, and I'm just going to refresh this page. And you can see that when I emailed that, it actually put the status into pending automatically. All right. And now I can see that I've got a couple of these like little indicators saying that there's some action here that could be required, right? So it says here that virtue.test@gmail, what happens if I need more seats, right? Not a problem. We have you covered, okay? And here, for instance, they said that they have a question about the Polycom. Let's just say black and gray. And since we're benevolent resellers, let's just say that we're going to give them a discount because that's pretty pricey. So just to show you guys what that can do. So it went ahead and applied a discount automatically here, and it says that we're taking $215 off, and essentially it's a 10% discount on the Polycom. All right. So I'm going to also comment on the general quote here and say your quote is all set. Please approve if everything looks right. Okay, and I'm going to submit. Now the customer is also going to get notifications that you've taken actions essentially to make that quote complete. So I'm going to go ahead and just refresh this and pretend that I clicked on the link in the notifications, and you can already see that the customer is now getting notified, like these little indicators here as well. So it says here hosted voice extension 2 out of 10. You can see that we've answered their question. Here, Polycom unit, you can already see that we're showing that we're giving them a 10% discount. And notice, when there wasn't a discount, this column wasn't here, okay? So we're only showing the discount column in the event that you actually apply a discount, right? So there it is, there's a 10%, it's showing how much it's taking off. It's showing them, as most e-commerce systems do, showing them that this was the original price, and here's what we're doing for you. So here's what you're basically gonna end up paying. And again, if they wanted to go ahead and see the actual comments, they can see it right there. And then you can also see down here that they have access to the general comments that we went ahead and specified. So there you can see it's me, Wojtek Wronski, at Viirtue.com. Your quote is all set. Everything looks good. I'm going to approve it now. And again, they may not use it exactly as I'm saying, but the capability is there, where if they do want to use it as a communication platform, all the capabilities are there for you, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit next here, and I'm gonna say, let's do this. And now you see that there's an electronic signatures agreement. Also, we provided the capabilities where if you did include terms and conditions with the quote in the initial quote setup process, those would be displayed here as well. So that way, everything is front and center before going ahead and approving this. I'm going to just say, all right, this is Viirtue test, and I accept these terms and conditions, and I'm going to hit accept. And once we've done that, a couple of things happen. Okay, is I can go back to my list of quotes because the customer may have other pending quotes, and so I can show you how to get back to those. You can either click this, or we can inspect what actually happens. So once the quote is in an accepted state, you now see that essentially you can't edit this information anymore. You can still view stuff, okay, like all the taxes as they pertain to the location that we changed it to, all that stuff is still accessible. They even got a notification here that, hey, this quote accepted mission to Mars is there, and they can either dismiss it or they can view all notifications that took place. It actually shows that it's in an accepted status, and they can actually go ahead and download the quote too, which I'm going to show you right now. So you can see that the quote contains all the information as it always has with the discount information, all the taxes broken down, and now you can actually see that it's got the electronic signature, the printed name, and I clearly had a typo when I built the account, but essentially, or when I signed it rather, it shows the date, and it actually contains an IP address here. We're also going to add a timestamp so that we can uniquely identify when that action took place, but it includes the exact IP address and timestamp of every thing from the actual client IP to the load balancer to the actual server that answered the request. So there's a complete and auditable digital trail of what transpired to actually execute this quote, okay, for compliance reasons, obviously, okay? And as I said, within the customer portal, what's also available to them is if they go ahead and click on this icon here, like the actual logo, or if they click on the quotes list, they can see the other quotes that they have in progress. So just because they came in on a specific quote doesn't mean that they can't poke around and look at the other quotes that they have pending. That's the idea behind that magic link. And if that link expires, which is valid for 3 days, they can actually go ahead and still come to the site, but it's going to say, hey, that link has expired. We're going to need you to go ahead and renew it. And essentially they'll be emailed a new magic link. So it negates the need for them to have to go ahead and create a profile and put in all that information before they even had a chance to actually see the quote. We also provide contact information here. If if the seller had a phone number included, it would also show here, like the actual phone number. So again, we're just basically trying to provide a frictionless and streamlined process for the customer to interact in that collaborative manner, which we've been alluding to, where they can see the product, edit them, make minor tweaks in order to make everyone's life easier, and obviously just make sure that we can close the business faster without having to scan documents or do anything like that to kind of capture those signatures. If I come back actually now to the reseller portal, and I'm just going to refresh this, but by the way, let me just show you guys real quick. I've got this notification here that the quote was accepted, and I can just, like I said, click back here, and now we can see that it's in an accepted status. I have notifications here that show that it was first revisions were requested, which we did, and essentially that that it was accepted. Okay, but now you can see here everything is in a view only status because it's accepted, and I can also see that they commented on it, and so I can see here that they've provided essentially some comments. And last but not least, if I wanted to see my system's notifications, like what notifications I've received, you can actually go ahead and see all these notifications. They're all logged here. So for instance, if I want to go back to the Mission to Mars thing to see what that notification was, it takes me to the thing that the notification was about, okay? So in a nutshell, we're very excited to do a limited release of the collaborative quoting. We're going to be piloting this with a select few resellers. Once we've kind of verified that everything is like good out in the general public, with their experience, we're going to release it to everybody. So this will be part of ViiBE's offering, and we expect that to happen, I'd say, probably towards mid-October, once we've collected enough, essentially, feedback and make sure that everything's working for everybody. But like I said, we are going to test pilot this with a couple of resellers first. And like I said, once we've got that feedback and we verified that everything is looking good for them, then we are going to release it to everybody. And that's it from the demo. Dan, I'm going to turn it back to you for the V41 updates. And I don't know if we want to wait on doing a quick Q&A or towards the end regarding the collaborative quoting.
Yeah, so folks, if you guys want to throw any questions about the collaborative quoting into the questions column, we'll try and just like we usually do. I've been offline kind of answering people's questions, Wojtek, privately, or we'll address them if it's something the the entire room should know about. But as always, if you guys have any questions at all after this webinar, you can always open a ticket up with support. Both myself and Wojtek are in there, so we can definitely address those questions there for you as well. But just for time, because we did want to try and wrap this up half hour, 30 minutes after the hour, we want to go through the upgrade rollout for V41. I know you guys, it's been a long time coming getting this rolled out. There's a lot of processes that were involved to getting us to V41, which I'll briefly go over, and then kind of just really get into the two different clusters we have and how we're going to be doing this V41 rollout. So for those of you that are new to the Viirtue ecosystem, V41 includes all of those new features like web meetings, MMS is in there, there's text to speech for auto attendance. There's just really a lot of really awesome functionality that has been added with the V41 release. Unfortunately, in order to get there, we had to do several infrastructure upgrades that took quite some time. We've been doing upgrades to our infrastructure basically every Saturday since middle of August. So the final upgrade that we had for the Apollo servers was our OS. We had to upgrade Ubuntu to version 16. We did that Saturday night. Everything went perfectly, and that was all completed. So now we are all systems go. We're ready to do that upgrade this Thursday night, October 1st. You'll see that notification go out, and then Friday morning, you folks should wake up to V41 on Apollo. We'll get into Zeus in just a second here. If you do not have web meetings already on your agreement, it does require a new agreement. So just reach out to your salesperson, and then we can get you those. And then I did see a question that came in here to chat about pricing for the quoting tool. So Roman had asked it. I think that's a good question to address to the room. Sorry to get a little off topic, but for that collaborative quoting tool that Wojtek had just showed you, there for the near future, that's going to be part of our ViiBE Lite, so that'll be part of our free tool. Eventually, we will move that into the ViiBE Pro module, but that won't be until the billing is released at least. So for now, that is a free feature for you. That might change to a premium feature down the road, but again, for now, it is included with the Lite version. All right. So V41 for Zeus is a little bit different of a timeline. We're hoping to get the Zeus servers done first with V41, but after doing just, again, a lot of those infrastructure upgrades that I was mentioning previously, that those timelines changed a little bit. So Zeus will actually happen second to Apollo. We've already done all the MySQL upgrades. All that's left is the OS upgrades, which we did to Apollo this weekend. So we're going to schedule those for Zeus next week, and then we will be right on target for October 12th to push out V41 to our Zeus cluster. All right. So again, folks, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I know we wanted to make today a rather quick webinar just to really show you the new features with the collaborative quoting that Wojtek and his team put a lot of effort into. We're super excited about getting it out to you guys. I think it's going to help you guys win a tremendous amount more business. And I'm sure you guys see where we're going with the whole user experience, where we really started the system as we intended to be a quote to cash software, started it on the sales process, and just making it a best in class solution for you all the way to our final goal is the invoicing and usage rating, which is we're getting to work on next. Hopefully you guys find value. Hopefully that helps you guys win a lot more business. And then again, these V41 updates are coming soon, and we're going to be announcing a couple more webinars for this month, some partner webinars. We have Polly's going to be joining us and a few other guests. And I did actually forget one slide here. I know this is a hot topic is the mobile app. So we do have a brand new 3.0 that's getting ready to be pushed. It's actually sitting in our Apple developer account as well as the Google Chrome store. The problem is, the Android store. So the problem is we cannot push this app out until after V41 is done. So there's a ton of bug fixes, basically everything you folks have been asking for the last couple months. But the reason we cannot push it out is because it's not backwards compatible. It's only compatible with V41. So we have to wait till both of our clusters are on V41. And then as soon as that's done, we're essentially going to do that the next day is we're going to push this app out to production, and you and your clients will be able to download it. And hopefully that'll give you all those bug fixes that you guys are all looking for. All right, so as always, thank you, Wojtek, and thank you all for joining us. We'll post the recording to this on our knowledge base in case anybody from your team wasn't able to view it, but keep a lookout in your email. Like I said, we have some exciting webinars coming out for the month of October, some partner webinars, as well as we will likely do another V41 educational webinar once that's out to production. So thank you guys again for joining us, and hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your week.
Thank you, everyone.